Sabi nila, sila daw ang challenge sa Roblox. So, tingnan natin itong Winkyverse. Hi guys, I'm John aka Soral. Welcome to your YouTube channel for your NFT Play Toy reviews. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Kaya let's go! Let's check itong Winkyverse. No? Pwede yung i-check yung website nila, getwinkies.com. So sabi nila, they are the first global educational games metaverse powered by the Winkies. Ito ay actual na company sa France. At dito sa website nila nakalagay dito, round 3 sold out. Okay, may ICO sila. Yung round 3 nun, less than 24 hours sold out. Around 10 million euro lang naman. Guys, euro hindi dollars, hindi peso. Euro. Dapat daw mga 2 weeks ito pero 24 hours, that's great. At ito ang may pinakamalaki right now na ICO funding sa France. Dahil backup lang ito ng top investors at advisors. Sino ba yung mga top investors at advisors na yan? So, nandito naman sa website nila, no? Team Docs din naman. Si Sebastian Bourget. Siya lamang ay COO ng Sandbox. Alam niyo naman yung Sandbox dito. Siyempre, chinek ko siya. Yun nga siya, no? COO nga siya ng The Sandbox. Yung nangunguna ngayon sa Metaverse game. Siyempre, chinek din natin yung kailang Twitter account. Okay? Siya rin talaga, no? So, sinusupport niya talaga tong Winkyverse na to. Lalo yung mainbot, no? Talagang actual na product siya, guys. And since ito daw, yung first educational ecosystem nga na pinagko-combine niya robotics, AI, programming, gaming, augmented reality, and blockchain, ay may upcoming din silang space program. So, kung meron kayong token nito, which is WNK, pati NFT, itong mga Winkybots, ay maaari kayong kumita ng around 12,000 WNK tokens every month. So, let's wait for more details. Kaya dapat lagi kayo nakatambay sa kanilang Twitter account, pati syempre sa kanilang Discord community. Lahat ng link na yan ay lalagay ko sa description below. Syempre, di nagtatapos sa Sandbox, no? Yung kanilang mga advisors and partners. So, nandito rin from the best worldwide entertainment platform, no? Ultra CEO. Talagang pinabackupan talaga siya ng mga advisors and partners. So, kung kayo, naghanap kayo ng mga lesser risk na metaverse, NFT games, so dapat treatin na nyo itong mga backup ng mga shareholders, advisors, and partners. Sila nga pumasok So, ibig sabihin, naniniwala sila dun sa project na yon, diba? Eh, nabanggit ko nga, no, sa France sila. So, nabanggit daw sila in over 250 major French media. At ngayon ko lang napansin yung kanilang YouTube video about the Winkyverse, first global educational games metaverse, is meron 100,000 views. Kahit na 400 lang yung subscribers nila. Ayan. So, pwede itong panoorin. So, pinapakita dito yung maaaring maging future. So, lakihan natin. Ayan. So, yun siya, no? Pero yung panoorin, ilalagay ko yung link below. Ayan. So, ina-expect nila magiging number 1 sila, no? So, nasa white paper din kasi nila na para may nakita ako, they're comparing themselves to Roblox. Okay? So, tingnan natin. This will be interesting, an NFT game that will challenge Roblox, which is one of the maayos, di ba, na mga educational platform right now na may kinalaman sa paglalaro. At yung kanilang white paper, 33 pages. Ganong kadetalye din. So, baka abutin tayo ng ilang araw ko lahat to is ipo-point by point natin. No? Pero ipapakita ko yung mga highlights dito. So, yung origins, nandun naman yun sa video nila. So, Winky yung kanilang robot. Parang papunta tayo ng Black Mirror nito So, yung Winkyverse daw will allow players, developers, and game editors to learn, create, play, and connect. So, yung token nila, by the way guys, from the making of this video, hindi pa siya listed sa PancakeSwap or Uniswap. So, bakit dalawa yon? Dahil yung token nila ay sa Ethereum talaga. But they can bridge it to Binance Smart Chain. Dahil naniniwala sila na tama naman, lesser gas fee doon. Pero they want this on Ethereum because yung kanilang NFT. Okay? Na pwedeng makita din sa OpenSea. At balik tayo, yung Winkies na yun, yung mga token na yan, pwede yung gamitin para sa one-time entry free for lifetime access dito sa Winkyverse. Yun ang utility nito. Pagbili sa mga in-game purchases, avatars, and customizations. Pag-purchase sa mga premium games, Winky Play premium subscription. Pag-purchase ng Winky Robot, ito yung nababanggit ko, no, with a 50% discount. Pag-reward sa mga game developers and artists, pag-advertise ng Winky Play, and syempre, no, governance token dito, mag-participate sa Winkyverse governance process. Kung gusto yung makita yung lahat ng top investors and advisors sila, nandito rin sa white paper. Nabanggit nga natin, COO ng Sandbox, CEO ng Ultra, CEO ng Ternoia Blockchain, CEO ng Aldebaran Robotics, at marami pang iba. So yung team nila, Team Docs, nandito naman, kita-kita yung mukha nila, hindi mga cartoons. Dito sa page na to, they're just projecting, no, yung future about robotics and the metaverse. Then disclaimer, kasi ito nga, napanood nga natin ito yung robot nila na si Winky. Ang target nila sa market is 200 euro. Para sa akin, mura for a robot. Parang kasing presyo niya mga VR. Okay? So ito educational platform na. So robot siya na high-tech for touch areas. May motion sensors, 3 microphones, speaker, LEDs. May gyroscope din na rotate yung head at ears, then may ranging device. Mas matalino daw, appealing, customizable, pati resistance din, no, sa mga drop pag nalaglag. At around 1.5 meters. So ito yung technology niya. Syempre, we're here to check the metaverse or the NFT, which is the Winkyverse. So magkakaroon ng Winky Play at Winky Maker, yung dalawang universe itong Winkyverse. So sa Winky Play, nandito yung mga iba't ibang apps, no, para sa educational nga. Okay, mga audiobooks, new technologies, fun games, cool, heroes, pati mga board games. Pambata talaga, guys. And this will be built on Unity 3D game engine. Then yung Winky Maker naman pa sa mga developers, creators, artists, no, pwede kayong mag-customize, mag-design ng inyong robot o kaya mag-develop ng game. Madaming features. So kung alam niyo yung Sandbox, di ba? Pwede kayong gumawa ng kung ano-ano doon within that metaverse. Ganun din ang gusto nilang gawin dito sa Winkyverse. At magkakaroon din pala sila ng cartoon series, guys. Oh, wow. At ito yung tokenomics sila, pati yung mga funds allocation, very detailed naman dito, with pati yung distribution nila. Yung total supply is 7.5 billion. Nagkaroon na yata sila ng hard cap, no? Talagang sold out sila at 20 million euro. So, huwag kayong mag-alala, itong mga team, pati mga advisors, mga partnership na yan, ay mga vested po yan. Okay? So, yung advisors, pati marketing, 3 months pa yung cliff niya. Then, linear vesting yan on 12 months. Ang pinamatagal yung team. So, yung team wala yata sasahudin for 1 year muna. Then, tapos na yung crowd sale, as I said, no? Listed na to sa PancakeSwap from the making of this video, pati rin sa Uniswap. So yung token flow niya, no, depende kung saan ka pupunta, Winky Play or Winky Maker. But at the end of the day, babalik ulit yan sa Winkyverse, no, through advertising. And, or you can swap your Winkies yan, to fiat para doon ka kikita. May ibibigay naman yan sa game developers or sa mga users or artists. So pwede ka rin kumita via staking or pwede mo rin gastusin for a one-time entry-free premium subscription or sa mga Winky Robot would have a 50% discount. So, syempre, di mabubuhay isang NFT game kung walang community. Kaya, they want the community to be the core of the Winkyverse. Nabanggit nga natin, kikita via selling games and accessories, getting successes in the games, being part, no, for the improvement of the platform by reporting bugs, advising new features, mga active sa community, by sharing content sa social networks, pag-create ng mga YouTube videos, writing reviews, and articles. Meron din sila sigurong referral system via inviting friends on the platform and watching ads. So ito yung kanilang viral loop na nabanggit natin, yung share, see, install, and desire to share. Then last but not the least, itong NFT sila, Winkybots, guys, ha. So iba yung kanyang website, winkybots.io. Pwede kayong mag-mint dito ng 12,111 na NFTs. Pero sa bawat mint nyo, maximum of 20 lang muna. So nakakalaga to ng 0.07 ETH plus gas fee. And may sarili siyang roadmap. So once sa 20% ay na-mint, magpapa-airdrop sila ng Winky's token sa mga Winky robots. 40%, 20 Winky robots will be offered to the community. Pag 60% na is partnership with 10 influencers to promote the Winkybots. 80%, 10 Winkybots will be selected to be used in licensed products. So baka doon sa mga cartoons nila. Then at 100%, all NFT owners will share 5% commission on OpenSea secondary sales. Ito yung itsura ng kanilang NFTs. Ayan. So, available sa OpenSea. So, ito yung crew nila, pero basically sila din yan. And going back dito sa kanilang white paper, nabanggit nga yung multi-chain presence, no? Yung pagbi-bridge ng mga token from Ethereum to Binance. And they want this to be all in a loop. Itong Winky Robot, Winkyverse, pati yung mga The Winkies, yung token and NFTs. So, para hindi lang yung traditional o yung mga crypto enthusiasts lang ang nag-enjoy dito. Kumbaga, overall, no, makaka-relate sa kanila. Ito yung nabanggit ko, they have a proven business model daw compared to Roblox. So, mas maganda daw yung mga offer nilang platform, no? For example lang, children can only play online daw sa Roblox dito. May robot na engaging. Tapos, many of the games daw sa Roblox don't have any educational value. Sa kanila, meron. Then, the profit of Roblox, 25% of the profit nun, ay napupunta sa game devs. Dito, 100% of the profits will go to game developers in the next 12 months pa. Afterwards, developers will always receive at least 50% of the profits. So, mas maraming pang-improve itong Winkyverse. Tapos, kinompare niya rin yung pag-create ng better digital currency because sa crypto nga sila. Unlike sa Roblox, fiat talaga ito. Kahit anong ipambayad mo sa Winkies, okay lang. Pwede mong ibenta kahit kailan yung Winkies token mo o yung NFT. Pati yung fast transaction ng crypto, ibinida din nila. And the price itself ng Winkies nila. Then the sources of revenue will be the sales of the Winky Robot and accessories, platform access fees, premium games and in-game purchases, then the ad-based revenue. So basically, yung roadmap nila, nag-umpisa to November 16 pa lang. No? November 2016. Yung main bot. Then, on October 18, and dyan na, no, yung Winkies public sales. Then, target nga nila na listed na ito this quarter 1, 2022. Then, ito na, mga susunod na aabangan natin on quarter 2, 2022. The closed alpha of the Winkyverse, Winky Play, then the private beta of Winky Maker. So, quarter 3, 2022, yung private beta naman ng Winkyverse at Winky Play. Then the public beta ng Winky Maker. For the quarter 4, 2022, public beta naman ng Winkyverse, public launch ng Winky Maker. Sa quarter 1, 2023, andito na yung Winky Play public beta na merong 500 laro daw. Then on quarter 2, 2023, public launch ng Winky Play, 2,000 games naman ang available na dyan. And on quarter 3, 2023, Winkyverse public launch. So medyo matagal pa rin talaga yung kanilang roadmap. On quarter 2, 2024, cartoon official release in France. Quarter 3, 2024, cartoon sale to international TVs such as Cartoon Network and Gulli, etc. Then quarter 4, 2024, the cartoon sale to streaming platforms. At yung Winkies, meron ding foundation. Ang two main objectives nila is to help children from all over the world access the best educational tools and enhance children's well-being. So that's it for the Winkyverse, yung educational game metaverse. So very interesting project, backed up by top advisors dito sa field na to. But even with a lesser or least risk, always remember guys to risk ka na that you can afford to lose lang, and also enjoy this project.
So, what do you think about the game, guys? Comment down below, but don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Hanggang sa muli, guys. Baboo!